one of my favorite experiences when I was sailing on this round the world trip was I was in the Southern Indian Ocean, which is a very difficult place to sail. It's what's the Southern Ocean is the most extreme marine environment on the planet and potentially the most extreme environment period. Because even in Antarctica, you can stand you can stand on the snow and survive for a long time. If you step off the boat, you're done. So and of course the weather's so anyway, it's a very, very, very tough place. Then it was between storms. So and the storms come just one after the other, just one after the other, and there's very little respite. And there was this time there was a I knew it. I had just weathered this storm, um, and the one that coming along was going to be worse, which is what happens as you get farther. And anyway, so I knew I was in for it, and uh, I was I was outside, and it was early early in the afternoon, and I was feeling sorry for myself because and as useless as that is, I was feeling sorry for myself. So and D.H. Lawrence said that I've never seen a wild thing sorry for itself. A small bird will drop frozen dead from a bough without ever having felt sorry for myself. So I was struggling, right? Because I knew that this wasn't struggling in the sense that these emotions weren't constructive, they weren't conducive. And of course, it's easy to sink into a morass of your own emotions because there's no one else, there's no checks and balances, there's just you. So I needed to make sure that I was prepared for what was coming next, because what was coming next was I knew what that was going to look like. And I'm not, I'm a technical guy, so I've been a programmer and a scientist and typical, you know, male, like 1 + 1 = 2, and everything's black and I mean everything's black and white. So I'm thinking that and you always hear the expression all the time that there's the ocean has no, the ocean has her own moods. And I had always just dismissed that. Okay, that's crazy. I mean, I know I'm a scientist. I know these things, and I'm a sailor, and that's nothing but solving math problems, the whole thing. So I'm in the cockpit feeling sorry for myself and looking out over the ocean. And of course, if you look out over the ocean for months and months and months, you get to be very familiar with the ocean. Um, and and suddenly the whole surface of the sea just changed, and it's changed as fast as the expression on your face when I said that changed like this. And I looked at it and I thought I couldn't believe what I had seen. I couldn't believe it. I had no explanation for it. And I looked and looked and looked, and the ocean had literally changed her mood. It is as if it is exactly the only way that I can describe it is if the hand of God had passed over the surface of the ocean in an instant. And had I been down below, I would have missed it. And if I hadn't been looking sort of with I think with an open heart and an open mind, then I would have missed it because, like I said, I was feeling sorry for myself, and I was asking, where am I going to find the strength? Where am I going to do this? How am I going to do it? I'm, I'm literally, I'm not even halfway through. I'm 15,000 miles away from anywhere, and the nearest person to me is 200 miles that way, the International Space Station. I'm thousands and thousands of miles from land. Like there's nothing there. And suddenly the hand of God passes over the surface of the ocean. It just changes her mood completely. And it just seeps into me like, well, it pours into you as if you were an empty bucket, and then it's gone, just like that again. And in that moment, I realized, well, maybe I'm not so much maybe I'm more of a romantic than I think I am. And most certainly, the ocean can change your moods. And because I saw it, and I would never have seen it otherwise. So there's that. That's one of my favorite experiences. And then, I mean, certainly it was, um, well, I would call it a miracle. We're surrounded by miracles every waking moment of the day, but that was certainly one that certainly got, punched me in the face. And the other